The BRSCC BMW Compact Cup is brought to you by Nankang Tyres and Gas Shocks.
Welcome to Thruxton for rounds 11 and 12 of the Nankang Tyres BMW Compact Cup. There are only 4 races remaining in this year's championship. 2 here today at Thruxton and 2 at Donington Park. That's only 4 races in which Ian Jones, starting 7th in the first race, and Matt Parks, 6th on the grid, have the opportunity to take the championship away from the reigning champion and pole position man, Stephen Daly. Stephen, only 4 races to go in the championship, but you can wrap up the title this weekend.
Yeah, fortunately we can wrap up the title this weekend. It's a massive honour for the KC Motorsport team this weekend to be in this position, and we're feeling very confident being on pole.
You only need to finish 4th in both the races today. As you say, starting in pole position, that's got to give you a lot of confidence.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to get around the first corner. That's the priority, is just to get off the line, round the first corner, and just hopefully manage a bit from there. I mean, Tom Griffiths is very fast, Ben Huntley is very fast this weekend, so I mean, they can mix it right up for me. But hopefully I can just get out in front, manage the lead, and just take it from there.
Brilliant. Well, we wish you all the best out there, Stephen. Thank you very much for your time. We'll let you carry on and get prepared for the start of the race. To take you through the race, it's over to Andy McEwan.
Well, drama already, Lloyd, I'm afraid, with Gordon McMillan looking like he won't be starting from one of his best qualifying positions in 4th place. Stephen Daly will be there, though, on pole position with Tom Griffiths alongside. Ben Huntley on his own on row 2, ahead of David May, and Matt Parks on the 3rd row. Ian Jones, double winner last time out, is down on row 4 with Keith Towers, then Mikey Doble, Mark Skeets, Mike Doble and Wayne Flint on the 6th row. Matt Flowers and Craig Jameson are next, ahead of Ray McDowell and Alan Caulfield, then Tim Scott Andrews and Aaron Morgan on row 9, row 10 for Robert Way and Chris Hack. It's another really busy grid here at Thruxton. Simon Welch, Rudy McMillan, Martin Gadsby and Jim Barrett are towards the back, whilst the back couple of rows are filled with Phil Sharp, Brendan Murphy and Phil Adcock right at the back. Well, Stephen Daly knows what he has to do to try and take the title today. Can he do it? Let's find out. The lights go out, away we go, and Daly makes a good start from pole position. Not a great start from Tom Griffiths from the outside of row 1 though, so Ben Huntley goes up the inside of him, and Matt Parks tries to follow him through as well, so Griffiths going backwards slightly as they roll through Allard Corner for the first time, up towards the complex on board with Ian Jones, 3 abreast in front of us as Griffiths comes back at Huntley and Parks around the outside line. That might just work, you know. Tom Griffiths going into 2nd place again, and Ian Jones from 7th on the grid is challenging for a podium position already. I think he's going to be 4th as they go through the middle portion of the complex. That's still a really good start to the race for our double race winner from Alton Park last time out. Out of the complex they go. Aaron Morgan there is running just ahead of Chris Hack and Keith Towers, and Tim Scott Andrews, excuse me, that is, as they head now towards the very quick left-hander at Noble. There's Alan Caulfield racing with Matt Flowers, who's inside the top 10 now in the championship. Whilst Ian Jones is side by side with Ben Huntley, and he gets on the dirty side of the road through Goodwood, and Jones is sideways, he's out of line, he could end up losing more ground. There's Mike Doble. Both he and his son Mikey had one of their best qualifying results of the season so far. However, there are problems for Aaron Morgan, who is slowing out at the back of the circuit on the opening lap. Looks like his race is already pretty much done. On board now, though, down towards Church Corner with Simon Welch, one of the fastest corners in British motorsport. It's not a corner where you want to be running onto the grass, but that's exactly what Ian Jones just did. Hopefully he got away with that one. I think he did, but certainly kicked up the dust and lost himself momentum all the way up Woodham Hill towards one of the best overtaking opportunities at the chicane, and lots of drivers towards the front trying to overtake. David May out wide, gets sideways, so too does Wayne Flint. May spins in front of the pack, and collects Wayne as he was gathering his moment up. Keith Towers has to take to the runoff area to avoid it. Mikey Doble, by the looks of it, is in a crumpled mess on the inside of the track as well, so at least 3 cars involved with that, probably all of them out of the race. Look at the state of David May's car. Here's a replay. He locks up and runs wide, gets on the dirty side of the road. Poor old Keith Towers was right in the middle of that, had contact from Wayne Flint, and then as May spun across the track, Flint tried to slow up to avoid him, didn't manage to, and in the process got ran into by Mikey Doble. So there were several accidents going on at the same time there, but look at what it's done to David May's car. It didn't look like that heavy an impact, but that is a very, very crumpled BMW, and that, I'm afraid, is probably the end of his day, let alone the end of his race. David May is furious, is absolutely furious, and perhaps unsurprisingly, with that amount of debris on the track, the red flags have been thrown. So the race is being called to a halt. We didn't complete the first lap though, so we will get a full restart. Now we're on with Keith Towers here, who himself gets sideways, gets a whack from Wayne Flint. How on earth does he miss David May though? That was incredible. David May, as he span across the track, and Keith Towers did well to avoid further contact. Let's try this again then. The race restart here at Thruxton. The red lights go on, and after a long hold, they will go out. We're away in racing once again, with Daly looking to try and replicate his storming start from the first attempt to start the race. We're on board with the lucky Keith Towers, looking to still be there in more or less one piece. Up the hill they go there for the first time. And again, Matt Parks has made a good start. He's gone off with his adversary from earlier on in the season at Snetterton, Stephen Daly. Back on board with Towers, and it's a sea of BMWs in front of us as we hit the brakes down at the complex. Let's hope they all get through safely this time. Well, Ian Jones on the initial start went to the outside of the complex. This time he goes to the inside. It's going to work out equally as fruitful though, or nearly equally as fruitful. He was 4th at this stage of the opening lap last time. He's now 5th, but there's no doubt who's leading. It is the championship leader, Stephen Daly, from Matt Parks in 2nd. Tom Griffiths is 3rd. Ben Huntley is trying to fight them all off in 4th. It was Jones who was right on his boot lid. For the race lead, Matt Parks fancies his chances of a 2nd win of the season, and really that is the only acceptable outcome from this race. If Matt Parks wants to keep his slim championship hopes alive, he has to win this race and then hope that something happens to Stephen Daly. As we heard Lloyd documenting pre-race, a pair of top 4 finishes is all that Stephen needs to wrap up his 2nd consecutive Nankang Tyres BMW Compact Cup Championship. Back on board with Keith Towers through Church Corner. Now on cold tyres through here, you're seeing the cars quite skitterish, lots of them sliding out wide, but not quite as wide as we saw Ian Jones on the first attempt to start the race. We're side by side for 2nd place though, and Tom Griffiths is up the outside of Matt Parks towards the chicane, and Tom Griffiths with the slipstream and I think a superior exit from Church Corner makes that look very easy and goes through into 2nd. Now let's hope we get them all safely through this time. They're a bit less bunched up throughout the order this time around, so we should get them all across the line safely. Simon Welch there, was that diving across his nose and onto the grass. Griffiths won't really fancy going right round the outside. Oh, Daly's a bit late on the brakes though. He outbrakes himself, runs out too wide, and he'll be really slow off the chicane as a result. Can Tom Griffiths take advantage? Well, he gets sideways as well, and it's actually going to be Matt Parks that could pass the pair of them. Across the start finish line, Matt Parks goes up the middle. Fantastic driving, but Stephen Daly does an equally good job to fend them both off. Parks goes 2nd, then slithers a bit wide, but hangs on to the position. What brilliant racing though, as ever, we're being treated to here by the Compact Cup. They never fail to entertain, and they really have excelled this year as far as the quality of racing is concerned. Through the complex they go then, Daly leading still somehow from Parks now into 2nd place, and well, Tom Griffiths, we're feeling a bit miffed about that because a few corners ago it looked like he'd set Stephen Daly up perfect to try and make the move, and then out of nowhere Matt Parks arrived on the scene and scuppered his plans. So Parks is now into 2nd position. We all remember with great fondness that race that Stephen Daly and Matt Parks had together at Snetterton earlier on in the season, which yielded Matt's first ever win in the championship. Are we about to see a resumption of that battle here at Thruxton? I, for one, would be very, very happy to see that. Out of Goodwood they go. Their squabbling is allowing the next 3 cars to close in, though, and on the back of that next train is this man, Keith Towers. And they're sort of working together a bit better with the slipstream, and if they can catch a whiff of a toe up the hill, they'll be right with the leading 3 when they reach the chicane. Again, Tom Griffiths is good through Church, gets up the inside of Matt Parks. That's definitely where Tom Griffiths is excelling at the moment. Each of the 3 times through there so far, he's been able to challenge the car in front, and for the 2nd time this race, he finds a way past Matt Parks and into 2nd position. And as long as he slows the car down for the chicane, which he does, he will now be able to set back off after Stephen Daly again. Remember, Tom Griffiths has never won a round of the Nankang Tyres BMW Compact Cup, and he's racing with the top 2 drivers in the championship as we go on to the final lap of the race now. So can Tom Griffiths do it, or has Stephen Daly built up enough of a margin? I would suggest the latter of those 2 is true. We'll find out. On board with Phil Adcock meanwhile as he weaves his way through the chicane now and tries to make a move up towards Allard Corner. leading 6 because they are all now pretty much together. And, well, I say they're all pretty much together. Stephen Daly actually looking ever more comfortable at the front of the field now, looking at pulling away from this fight for second. Matt Parks is coming back at Tom Griffiths now as they head up towards Noble. But with the effect of the toe around here, Griffiths can get a really good exit from this corner and a good run through Goodwood. And it seems to be through the high-speed corners where he gains on Stephen Daly. If he can do that again on this lap, then he could get a toe up towards the chicane once more. Let's see. Out of Noble they go, up towards the right-hander at Church, and Griffiths is definitely coming. He's right there. He's more than halved that gap already on this lap. As they go towards Church Corner, the part of the circuit where he has been the strongest, he might just be in a position to make a last lap challenge for the race lead. And Daly runs out wide as well. That will help Tom Griffiths even more. Daly just about keeps it on the island, and I think we'll get over to defend, but Griffiths goes to the outside anyway. So Tom Griffiths going for the race lead for the final time towards the chicane. They're wheel to wheel, but Tom Griffiths I think is going to go through. Yes! Tom Griffiths takes the race lead. Can he stop the car for the chicane? He's sideways, but he gets into the chicane okay, and I think he's going to get off the chicane okay as well. Tom Griffiths in sensational fashion is going to win his first ever round of the Nankang Tyres BMW Compact Cup, and he passes the reigning champion on the final corner. Fantastic racing at Thruxton. And what a victory that was for Griffiths. Daly second, Parks in third from Huntley fourth and Jones fifth. Keith Towers was sixth ahead of Mark Skeets, Ray McDowell, Craig Jameson and Matt Flowers in 10th. Then it was Tim Scott Andrews and Robert Way, Chris Hack and Aaron Morgan, while Simon Welch, Jim Barrett, Brendan Murphy, Martin Gadsby, Phil Sharp and Phil Adcock round out the top 20. Then we had Rudy McMillan, Mike Doble, Alan Caulfield, Wayne Flint, David May and Mikey Doble, unfortunately all failing to reach the finish.
Tom, an epic race. You seem to have a really good setup and clinch the victory on the final lap.
Yeah, there's no better way to do it than in the final corner of the last lap, but the car was brilliant. I've got to thank my mum and dad for giving a brilliant car. Made harder by the race being split into two, so had sort of a 5-minute dash at the end there, but yeah, really tough one, but a great way to win my first one.
Steve, a great getaway from both parts of that race. But just not able to make it stick in the final corner. However, second place, all good for the championship.
Yeah, I mean, in second place is good for the championship. I am disappointed in myself for making a mistake on the last lap, allowing Tom just to sail past with flying colours. I mean, there was nothing I could have done. It was that bad a mistake. I might as well have just waved him past, you know. So all credit to Tom there. Drove a cracking race from start to finish. He was pressure, and he got the mistake in the end, and he done it like a true racing driver should. So, hats off to him.
The cars are getting ready to go out onto the grid for the second and final race here at Thruxton in the Nankang Tyres BMW Compact Cup. Stephen Daly, championship leader, could wrap up the title today here at Thruxton. But let's not forget, in the first race he made a silly mistake in the final corner, which dropped him from the lead into second place. He won't want to be making too many of those in this race, or it will see him outside of that fourth place that he needs to take the championship. Tom Griffiths has been fast here all weekend. He's going to be looking to make it 2 wins out of 2. It's over to Andy McEwan to take you through the race.
This is it then. In about 15 minutes' time, Stephen Daly could be crowned a double Compact Cup champion, but let's wait and see whether that happens. It's Tom Griffiths, our race 1 winner, on pole with Stephen alongside, then Matt Parks and Ben Huntley on row 2 ahead of Ian Jones and Keith Towers on the 3rd row of the grid. Keep an eye towards the back of the grid as well, where if they've got their cars out, a few of the drivers who were caught up in incidents in race 1 might be able to work their way up the order. Though I think it's unlikely that we'll see Gordon McMillan, David May, excuse me, and Mikey Doble out there. Wayne Flint's car hopefully will be repaired. We'll have to find out whether he takes the start. The rest of the field, though, are primed and ready to go. On board with Ben Huntley from the outside of row 2. As the red lights go on, they go out again. Let's hope we get the full 15 minutes in this time as well, because race 1 was an enthralling race. Imagine what they can do with the full 15 minutes to entertain us. It's another good start from Daly at the front of the field. Another good start from Parks into second place. Huntley and our race 1 winner, Tom Griffiths, are side by side for third. So Griffiths, once again, not getting a great start, but seems to really come on strong as the race goes on. On board with Simon Welch, Chris Hack in front of us as the tyre smoke. There's a car on the ground. grass. Oh no, that's Tim Scott Andrews off. Keith Towers is off wide as well. He's going to try and rejoin. There's got to be a car around here somewhere. Yes, there's Tom Griffiths, but somehow Keith Towers, well, was fourth. He's now down to fifth because Ben Huntley goes through and he's on the grass. He's fighting the steering wheel, and Ian Jones goes through as well. A typically entertaining and robust start to the race there as they all try to get themselves through the corner. Oh no, contact with Matt Skeets again, and Towers possibly with broken suspension. Did he get away with that? I think he might have done. You know, that looked like a fairly hefty whack between himself and Mark Skeets, but Towers appears to have got out of that one relatively unscathed, as miraculously does everybody else, considering we had cars all over the grass coming into the complex. I thought we were on for another pile-up then, but they got through okay. On board with Aaron Morgan. Mark Skeets there is slowing, so it looks like his car has sustained some damage in that contact with Keith Towers. At the front of the field though, it is Daly from Parks, from Griffiths in third, Huntley fourth, Jones in fifth. Keith Towers is still sixth, but some way behind the leading five, and I think that's Matt Flowers behind him as well, who's having another strong run. There's Aaron Morgan, who, as we saw, slowed on the opening lap of race one, which possibly then meant that he missed all of the chaos up here. Matt Flowers has now gone past Keith Towers, so Keith Towers starting to drop down the order. I wonder whether maybe, although the car is still running, maybe it has taken a knock that's affecting the steering. Look, it's not wanting to turn left, is it? So Keith Towers, I think he knows there's a problem. He's coming into the pit lane. Oh, that's a shame. He and Mark Skeets both, it would seem, out of the race after first lap contact. The rest of the field streamed through though, and up towards Allard Corner once again. As sideways Matt Flowers arrives on the scene. I think I did catch a glimpse of the silver car of Wayne Flint somewhere in there as well, so hopefully that means that he is out there for this restart, or this second race, excuse me. On board with Aaron Morgan, who drops down into the complex. He's under a lot of pressure there behind him, isn't he, from the car that... I'll interrupt myself because there's a spin, and that is the number 45 car, Brendan Murphy, who has gone around, unfortunately. Thankfully, no contact, but or at least no contact after the spin, but whether it was contact that maybe triggered it, I'm not too sure. Back with Aaron Morgan now, though, as he makes his way through the left-hander. Ray McDowell is the man behind him. Car that was previously raced by Joe Wiggin to a race victory a couple of years ago, and McDowell, another driver who has really improved as the season's gone on, and that very striking black, pink and yellow livery stands out in a crowd, and good to see McDowell starting to make his way up the order a little bit further. Ian Jones has spent more time on the grass at Church Corner than on the track, I think, at times this weekend, but he's pushing on. He's still a part of that lead train. McDowell, though, has ideas of finding a way past Aaron Morgan here. The leaders make their way back through Noble once again, getting into the closing stages of this race now, and Tom Griffiths starting to apply the pressure a bit more heavily onto the tail of the number one car. Stephen Daly just runs a bit wide out of Goodwood there, cuts across to the inside to defend it towards Church Corner. That means he's offline coming on the exit as well, and Griffiths, neat and tidy, no spectacular driving through there, just keeping it on the black stuff and using the slipstream up the hill to close in. Now Daly will have to defend surely to the inside. Griffiths goes to the outside. This is the first significant challenge for Griffiths to try and get through. Of course, it's always possible that if you force the driver in front to defend into the chicane, they could get themselves tied up in knots through the middle of it, and then you get the run to the first corner. It doesn't quite happen that way, but he is a bit quicker off the turn than Daly was. And so as they arrive at the complex, he's going to be well within striking distance again. Out of Allard they go, up the hill, and then here's the fight for third, because Ben Huntley has now caught Matt Parks. All of a sudden, really, over the last lap, he's been able to reel him in. Maybe as Parks lost the toe to the leading two. The slipstream is so important around here. If you lose the toe, you can lose up to about a second a lap or so. So the leading two pairs of cars, you don't know where to look here, do you? This is the fight for the race lead, and the fight for third place is equally as close. But, well, for Stephen Daly, how hard does he want to fight this? Because second place is still more than good enough for the championship, and Tom Griffiths is out for another race victory here. So in a way, Stephen doesn't really need to take too many risks here, but at the same time, he is a true racer, and that's something we really admire about Stephen Daly. Even when arguably he could back off and just take the points, he will always go out there and try and take the race victories whenever he can, and that is the sign of like I say, a true racer. And I don't think he's going to roll over and let Tom Griffiths go through. Neither is Matt Parks going to let Ben Huntley through without a fight either. They approach Church Corner now. They pitch it into the turn as the race leaders exit corner. Daly getting better at Church, isn't he? He's not running quite as wide now. He's carrying decent speed out of the corner. He's learned, I think, that that's where Griffiths was taking heaps of time out of him. And so he's now really maximising his exit speed from there whenever he can. Side by side for third place. Huntley to the outside of Parks. Never likely to make that one work on the way into the chicane on the outside. They're not against a really evenly matched driver, but he's quicker through the corners and trying to build that momentum up now across the start-finish line. they go once again. Time for, I think, 2 more laps in this race, and Ian Jones not out of the podium fight yet either. Ian's double race victory at Alton Park last time did put him back into 3rd in the championship. That's very close for 3rd in the championship. Jones is on 422 points, David May on 419, Owen Hunter was on 414, but no longer here, and Paul Hinson is on 412. So there are 3 drivers, Jones, May, Hinson, all within 10 points of each other for 3rd in the championship. Of course, David May a non-starter in this one after his accident in race 1, so it's looking good for Ian Jones, even though he's down in 5th in this race, to at least secure this 3rd place in the championship. He is 22 points behind that man there, Matt Parks, for 2nd in the championship. If he was able to take some points out of Matt in this race, that would go down very well. But I'm not convinced he's really got enough time to get onto the terms with these two unless they really start holding each other up, which could start to happen shortly, because Ben Huntley is starting to get a bit antsy here. He wants to find a way through if at all possible. Towards Church they will go. Who's going to get the better exit from this corner? Huntley maybe use the toe to get alongside again, like he did a lap ago. He went to the outside last time. If he can get a really good exit there, he could get to the inside, and I think he might just be able to do that because Matt Parks missed the apex there and lost a lot of ground out of the corner. The leaders are separating themselves now. There's been a spin for Phil Adcock by the looks of it, and contact with someone or something, because the front left corner is rather more crumpled than it was at the start of the race. So his race appears to be done, but for 3rd place, Ben Huntley and Matt Parks are side by side. Where is Matt Parks? He's around here somewhere. Well, the answer is he's behind us, because Ben Huntley has made the move stick and has gone into 3rd position. Good driving that from Ben Huntley. Now, where is Ian Jones in all of this as we now start the final lap of the race? Has Tom Griffiths had his opportunity here? He's lost a bit of time to Stephen Daly on the last 2 laps consecutively. Daly is just starting to manage this one again, but then we said this at the start of the final lap in the first race earlier on today, and then over the second half of the lap, Griffiths really reeled him in, but I think it's going to take a mistake from Daly for Tom to have any chance of the double race victory. Through Noble they go, in towards Goodwood, this everlasting right-hander. And then down towards Church Corner. Stephen Daly not really putting a foot wrong at the moment, but it may not be a double race victory on the cards for Stephen, but this will be enough to provisionally, subject to any penalties and whatnot over the final round at Donington Park, take the championship victory for the 2nd year in a row. Tom Griffiths is closing though. He's had another good run through Church Corner. He's in the slipstream towards the chicane, but Daly's always going to defend the inside line. Griffiths goes to the outside anyway. Oh, Daly's very late on the brakes in towards the chicane. He just, the rear of the car steps out sideways, but he gets into the toe. He's a real oversteer through the middle of the chicane, and Tom Griffiths is going to be pushing him right the way to the checkered flag. It's a drag race to the start-finish line. Get the photo finish camera ready. Stephen Daly just hangs on by 9/100ths of a second. Fantastic racing there. Tom Griffiths very nearly did do the double. It is Daly that wins the race though, and provisionally takes the championship, with Griffiths 2nd, Huntley 3rd, and Jones and Parks rounding out the top 5. Then it's Matt Flowers in 6th, ahead of Craig Jameson, Ray McDowell, Aaron Morgan in the top 10, along with Robert Way. We had a few retirements from that race. Phil Adcock we saw pull into the pit lane, so too Keith Towers and Mark Skeets after their first lap contact, and a whole host of non-starters after race 1's drama. A fantastic pair of races here from Thruxton. They were a great debut victory for Tom Griffiths, but the champion provisionally is Stephen Daly.
Stephen Daly, congratulations. How does 2018 Nankang Tyres BMW Compact Cup champion sound?
Sounds a lot better than 2017, that's for sure. But no, I mean, massive credit to the Casey Motorsport guys. I mean, every race all year they've been on top of their game. Neil, my dad, Graham, Liam, everybody plays a massive part in the team, and it's for them. Without them, there'd be no championship at all. So I mean, credits to them.
It's been a great weekend here at Thruxton, but that last race, 0.09 of a second, did you know that you'd taken the win, or was it a bit uncertain until you actually came into the Park Verme? I
knew I was in the lead, and then I started celebrating, which was very, very premature, and then I looked to my left and Tom was coming fast, so I was like, oh no, here we go. If I lose this now, I'm just going all over. I'm packing up and going home. I'm never coming back, so that's a mistake I'll never make again, but it was close. It was very, very close. Tom done excellent today, and you know what, if that's the pace we can expect from Tom next year, it's going to be another close championship.
Ben, well done on your 3rd place in the second race here at Thruxton, but it's been a tough weekend all round and some pretty strong opposition out there.
Oh, I mean, you know, this is one of the best weekends I've had, and it's been a hell of a fight, you know. I mean, Matt's been fast, Tom found pace in qualifying, and fair play to him, that was just amazing, and I'm over the moon with 3rd, you know. Matt put a hell of a fight up through Goodwoods, and actually it was just down the straight, just managed to get alongside him and out-drag him before the last chicane, and luckily for me, Ian Jones put a bit of a fight for Matt on the last lap and let Matt drop back, and I thought I could take a bit of a breath as I came through the last chicane and thought, oh, I got it.
Well, once again, we've had very close racing in the Nankang Tyres BMW Compact Cup. Congratulations to Stephen Daly, 2018 champion. Hope you can join us next time when all of the racing action comes from Donington Park.